Hey everyone, this is Tony, Dungeon Master for D&D Raw, and before we begin, I have a couple of quick announcements I want to make. First, I would like to thank Victoria Rogers of the Broadswords podcast and Greg Tito for helping to set up all of Podcasts of Foes. We really appreciate this amazing opportunity. Lastly, before we begin the session, we wanted to post up the promo for the Broadswords podcast. So before we begin, here are the Broadswords.
Rashomon, a land where spirits roam and witches rule. 3 women are embroiled in a divine plot, and it is up to them to uncover why. Join the adventures of the Broadswords at thebroadswords.com.
And now, on to the show. Be sure to check out our bloopers at the end of the episode. This entire thing was a blast to make. Anyway, with me are the following players. Lastly, we just wanted to thank again Victoria Rogers of the Broadswords podcast and Greg Tito for helping to set all of this up and giving us this amazing opportunity. Anyway, without further ado, with me are the following players.
Hi, this is Bethany. I'm playing Hera, who is an eladrin ranger rogue fighter. She comes from a noble family in the Feywild, but she has decided to embrace her wanderlust and venture forth to other planes, using her skills to solve problems with her compatriots.
Hey everybody, this is Rachel. I'll be playing Nyx, the gnome undying light warlock. She is a little bit of a tinkerer, a little bit of a show-off, and likes chaos and shiny things.
Hi, I'm Adam. I will be playing Rikas, the half-elf stone sorcerer. He is a bit of a straightforward, kind of your classical knight sort of guy. He definitely wants to take his problems head on and just beat it.
Hey, I'm Nick, and I'm playing Immeral, a firbolg life cleric. He's very protective of his family, friends, and allies, and kind of a quiet, but somehow still adventurous sort.
I'm Chris. I will be playing the character of Chet Chettington, a human bro fighter. While wizards may prepare their spells for the day, Chet instead prepares his hair. Some say he has an entire bag of holding dedicated to hair products.
So, this brings up an excellent transition then. Why don't you describe what everyone looks like?
Hera is a spring eladrin, so she currently has a lot of those sort of spring tones. She has sort of golden colored hair at the moment, but it's starting to turn a little bit red, almost as if she's shifting to another season. She's kind of a standard sized elf, you know. She's the ranger. She's fit, but not muscular. So she's 5 feet tall, weighs 90 pounds. She's relatively young, but has some experience behind her. And for clothing, she just wears her studded leather armor and a rather nice cloak, which seems to change in appearance from time to time. She really would like to constantly be wielding her 2 short swords, but she's realized that often the party needs a little bit of support from behind, so she typically has her bow in hand, ready to take on enemies from a distance.
Nyx is a tiny little rock gnome, all of a whopping 3 foot 1 inches. She's pretty young, in her mid-20s. Pretty small gnome, typical size build and everything. She has kind of brownish eyes, tannish skin, because she's outside a lot. And her hair's kind of like a dirty blonde, but she keeps it pulled up in these ridiculous little pigtail things. She usually wears obnoxiously colored clothes, usually in the yellows and oranges if she can find them. The flashier, the better. She loves gaudy costume jewelry and anything that's shiny and, annoying. She uses a rapier as her main weapon.
So, Rikas is about 5'11", so he's pretty tall for a half-elf. He weighs about 173 pounds, has kind of medium to lighter-looking muscular build. Tan skin, dark brown hair that's super shaggy all the time, silver eyes, and in terms of what he wears most of the time, it's just generally long shirt. Yeah, and in terms of weapon, he carries around his war pick and shield at all times.
Immeral's a firbolg, so has some features that might resemble a giant, but some also that would represent someone more of the Fey persuasion. Fairly imposing build, 7'9", 280 pounds. Covered in some thin gray fur, although most of that's covered by the chainmail armor that he's wearing. scruffy brown hair with a beard. Some facial features that are a bit goofy, a little happy-go-lucky seeming. Might be disarming, despite the build. In terms of what he carries with him, he has a shield as well. He also carries his staff of healing and a hand axe as a sidearm.
So, Chet is a human male. He's about 6 feet tall, 180 pounds. He's a fairly muscular build, being a fighter. He has blue eyes with blonde hair, and it is absolutely fantastic hair.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. Totally the envy of everyone. So for his weapons, he carries a longsword, which is actually a sword of life-stealing. Might help explain some of his youthful vigor, just gets it from slaying enemies. Also, he carries around a shield, a +1, so it is a very exquisite shield that, of course, has his family's sigil on it, which is,
Of course.
being in the diamond trade, it's a shape of a diamond with basically a thumbs up emblazoned on one of the facets of it. That is what he carries into battle. So for armor, Chet wears some splint mail. He used to have chainmail, but he decided that he was due for an upgrade.
All right, let's begin. So, you, the Justice Crew, find yourselves walking along the mountain paths of the Kingdom of Solana, the Kingdom of the High Elves, and having just recently received a letter from Drusilla requesting your aid in the nearby town of Alyabel. The only thing on the note that was written was that there's an emergency that's occurring, and they require the aid of powerful individuals. Having heard that you were in the area, they requested your presence as swiftly as possible. Also on the note was a small seal from what seemed to be a high elven noble family.
Would we have had a chance to try to figure out if we recognize it or know what it is?
Everyone can roll a history check.
12.
4.
7.
3.
12.
Hey, we are so smart. We are slightly
I'm
smarter
the one
than
with
the
the
average.
-2, and I rolled the highest with Bethany.
So, Chet, you recognize that this is definitely a noble family. Hera and Rikas, you both recognize that it is definitely a high elven noble family. You know the name Othronus, but beyond that, you don't know anything else about the noble family.
Okay. I will share that with the group that the name Othronus is some sort of high elven noble family that's associated with this seal, but
Agreed.
I don't know anything about them, so I guess we'll find out when we get there.
They're probably very lovely. I can't wait to meet them.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they want justice, and that's what we're all about. More or less.
And they're willing to pay, which means we can buy more clothes.
So they did offer a reward.
Okay, well,
Ah.
I was.
I hope the reward is money.
Well,
I know,
it could be shiny earrings too. I like earrings.
Yeah, but it could be like that time we just got rewarded with goat jerky.
That was delicious goat jerky. I think it's the best I've ever had.
I did indeed like eating the goat jerky.
See?
Yes, but money is better because then you can buy as much goat jerky as you want, right?
Yeah,
No, because the money runs out once you buy the goat jerky. So it's also finite.
What if they offered you a goat?
I would name it Daisy, and I would brush it and put a bow on it, and I would probably be able to ride it if it's a big goat. Or is it a
Okay,
goat?
I think we have a team discussion. Do we allow pet goats? Because I feel like this might come up.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Chet, please tell her I can have a goat.
Sorry, little bro. Goats tend to eat my hair products.
What if Daisy doesn't touch your hair products?
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have to make a decision once we find said mythical goat.
Daisy.
Daisy. Okay.
Immeral,
other-
do you care either way?
Whatever makes everyone the most happy.
Do you like goats?
I have some affinity with them. They make for great conversation.
Yeah, I mostly have just like hunted wild goats for food. For food! It's very sustainable. And it's not like they're pet goats. They're just like wild goats.
You don't know that they weren't somebody's pet. Maybe it was a pet and it got loose. I had a lizard get loose once. Well, it wasn't actually a pet. I just picked it up and said it was mine. And then it got loose.
Okay, well, I think we struggle with what the definition of a pet is. That might be a problem we have going forward.
It had a name.
The lizard?
Yes. It was Rob, the lizard.
Right, of course. Sorry, I'm sure you've told me about Rob, and I assumed it was a person.
I mean,
This makes a lot more sense now.
It was a great conversationalist.
Yeah, I think I remember your long talks with Rob, and I assumed he was, like, sentient, but that's my mistake. Sorry.
I'm assuming you're all having this conversation as you're walking
on the
along
road.
the mountain. Yes.
Yeah. This is
So-
a typical Justice Crew conversation, I assume.
Yeah.
So as you're walking along the mountain pass, you find one road that forks off deeper into the mountains towards a cavern you see off into the distance. And kind of standing at this junction, you see a high elven woman, short black hair, and looking a little harried and very tired. And she's just kind of like chewing on her thumbnail and tapping her foot rapidly as she stares at the ground.
Hi, how are you? I'll wave.
Hello, you're the Justice Crew, correct?
We are Flex.
You see her immediately kind of like stop chewing on her nail, and she puts a hand through her hair, seems to also cast a quick spell on her. Her clothes get a little cleaner. And she's like, my sincerest apologies. I am Drusilia Othronos. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I'm glad you made good time getting here. And I apologize. I do not know all of your names. I simply knew you as the Justice Crew. Your reputation is spreading.
Yes, we are the Justice Crew. I am Chet Chettington, fighter extraordinaire. We have come at your summon.
Those who use names often call me Immeral. Pleased to meet you. And I do a little bow.
Hi, I'm Nyx, and Nick, she'll walk up and actually extend a hand, as well as not so subtly try to like stroke the bottom of her dress to see what texture it is.
When you offer your hand, she kind of offers it to you, but palm down initially, and you see some elegant rings on her finger. And as soon as you go to touch her dress, she kind of backs away a little bit, but it's a very fine material. It's much more worn than you would think. Material is definitely something a noble would wear. It's not as taken care of as a normal noble would.
Okay. Not even noticing the hand down, she'll just reach up, because she's small, and grab it awkwardly and shake it instead of like up and down, like side to side. Just thinking it's a high elf thing.
She kind of takes her hand back a little as soon as you do that. And you know that gesture where you kind of like brush your fingers a little bit, like you just touch something
Gross.
Weird or gross?
Vaguely distasteful.
Yes. Basically that. Pleasure.
Rikas, my lady, at your service. I'm a knight. That's what I do.
Charmed.
And then I'll take her hand and kiss it.
You'll kind of hear slightly her whisper in Elven. Ah, one with manners. Excellent.
Hi, I'm Hera. I promise I'm not going to touch you in any way.
Thank you all for your summons. If you'll follow me, I can fill you in along the way.
Are we getting a goat?
Yes. We don't...
Hey, ignore her for a second. What exactly is the situation?
Come, we should hurry.
We'll talk about
as
the
she
goat
starts
later.
She starts to head down the path. You see the path that she's walking on kind of curves deeper into the mountains and towards this cave. And it seems like she's leading you in that direction.
What time of day is it?
It's morning.
Okay. And can I try to sleight of hand touch her dress again?
Oh my God.
I want to feel it.
With Tony, with the caveat, I was going to say Hera is going to keep an eye on Nyx.
Behave yourself, child.
Creepy
Smack.
way.
Hera,
I just wanna, brush
roll
it.
perception. Nyx, roll sleight of hand.
12.
23. This has happened
You
before.
clearly see her go and like softly stroke
No,
the dress.
I will try to slap her hand away as she's reaching out.
Roll contesting dex.
All right,
Okay.
20.
18.
Yes!
So she does get to feel the dress briefly before your hand quickly smacks it away.
I'll be like, not again.
I want to know what it is. It's really nice.
Do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, but it was only 2 days in jail.
It was 3. You just forgot one of them. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. We need to find out what the job is, and then you'll get your goat.
Yes!
While they're having this conversation, Rikas is just like walking beside the lady and just trying to talk to her and get the situation.
All of you noticed her sleight of hand. I was looking at all of your passive perceptions really quick. I'm like, oh yeah, yep, you all
A quick
noticed.
question. Did the lady notice it?
Her passive perception of 10.
Yes.
Whoa!
Thank
Score!
Our
I
shenanigans
beat
are hidden
somebody.
for the day.
As you guys are whispering this to each other, Drusilia is walking ahead and just explains, well, okay, I couldn't tell you everything that was going on. Alyabel is a bit of a research area. We have been studying planar travel and the different planes of existence ever since the Cataclysm. And people who live there are those who help on the experiments and their families. We have, of course, simple housings, but I will explain this briefly. We can open portals to other planes, and we have been exploring them and trying to make sure nothing like what happened with the Cataclysm ever happens again. And every time we've opened a portal, it remains open for 1 minute before it closes, and we wait some time before we reopen the portal to allow our explorers to return.
So at this point, you see Rikas' eyes kind of glaze over because there's just a lot of talking.
And Nick's perks up a lot at the mention of portals and planes.
Chet might be a little disconcerted just because of his previous experiences with fighting dimensional travelers.
Hera would step up and say, "This portal's to another plane?"
Yes, we can open different portals to different planes, and we've been exploring some of them. And like I said, they have remained open for 1 minute, and then it closes, and after the designated amount of time that we give our explorers, we reopen the portal to allow them a chance to come back. And it has been working fine thus far. We have met some interesting races, some friendly, others not, but it's all been working out fine until just the other day when the portal didn't close.
I've seen this before. It does not end well.
No. Fortunately, we have sealed the facility, but there are still some people trapped inside. And we were hoping for your help in rescuing them and assisting us in sealing this portal.
It sounds like something that is within our wheelhouse. I've fought extra-dimensional beings before. We can do it again.
How long have they been trapped there?
About 3 days now.
Well, then we're really short on time, because anything could have happened in any amount of time, especially depending on what plane they went to. Do you know?
Well, we believe it's one of the lower planes.
One of the lower planes. My favorite planes. Great.
I wasn't in the room when the experiment was occurring. That would have been Lorilla, our head of our invention division.
So, were they given any supplies, or have they been having to fend for themselves for the past 3 days?
We don't know.
What do you...
As I said, we sealed off the facility, and there's plenty of food in the facility itself, but they could have easily held up in there, but it's hard to send people down because many of them either don't come back or come back very injured, saying there are fiends down there.
It's the lower planes. They're
Fiends?
not vacation spots.
This was supposed to simply be an exploration, and to be honest, this is our first time checking out this particular portal.
Is there a healer among them?
No.
How many are we looking for?
There's a dozen unaccounted for.
Who would have more information as to who went through and what their supplies and situation might be?
Well, honestly, does that matter? It seems like the direct approach is we go, we find out, we come back with whoever has survived.
And we smash, right?
Yes, we smash. It's what we do. For justice.
I agree. We should hurry to their aid.
For justice!
Was there a gnome with them? Do you know? Do you know if there was a gnome?
Does it matter if there
Not
was a gnome?
with
Yes.
them, but Lorilla is a gnome.
Oh, that's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for a pop car Pops Sterling. That's my dad. He was doing some stuff on planar stuff, so he might have been here.
He wasn't with us, not as far as I'm aware, and I've pretty much been with the project since the beginning. But maybe Lorilla knows more. I'm taking you to meet her so she can open up the facility to you so you can get inside.
She sounds great. Hera,
All
you
right.
seem to know stuff about lower planes. Real quick, are they dark?
So, you know how people talk about, like, devils and demons? You know, fiendish creatures?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure
that's their home.
Okay. So we're
So-
gonna go and raid their home and find our people, and then shut the door.
Essentially, that's the plan we have right now. As you're saying it to me, it sounds bad. But
Sounds like a Saturday afternoon to me.
we really don't have a better plan right now. So
I walk over and put my hand on top of Nick's head. You forgot about the smashing.
Well, that's implied. That's always implied.
yeah, that's literally our MO for everything.
It's like our tagline that we don't have to say.
So once we rescue these people, do we have any idea how to close the portal?
I do not know, but there must be something on the other side of the portal that's keeping it open.
Like a lever.
Maybe? It wouldn't be very far from the portal itself. Based off the few arcane spells I can cast, it'd be something nearby. But I don't know what it would look like. We've never... Okay. So we're able to go to the other planes because of a powerful item that is referred to as the cubic gate. And it has specific planes that it can go to. 6 to be exact. And we've been slowly exploring them, and when we hit the button for this plane, it just didn't close. And we had our emergency evacuate go off, and we sealed everything as soon as we got as many people out as we could, but...
There's a box with a button. You push the button, the door opens. You go through the door, and then you push the button and the door closes.
Well, the door stays open for 1 minute. We don't even need to push the button. We've tried pushing the button since it's remained open for longer than a minute, but it's still open.
I'm sold.
All right, I think, Drasilia, we're in.
On one
Excellent.
condition. Can I try to push a button when we get there?
Of the cube?
Yeah.
I mean, if it helps to close the gate.
No, that's not why she's asking. She just likes to push buttons.
Shh, don't tell her that.
I gotta be upfront. She's worried and stressed.
I only push them with good intentions, though.
Roll persuasion.
A 22?
Jeez.
Wow.
I mean, I suppose that would be fine. We'll just instruct you on which one not to push.
Okay. I'm good at following directions. I used to follow directions in my dad's workshop all the time.
Good. We're almost there. And she kind of gestures up, and as you are coming around a bend in the road, you do see ahead some small stone buildings that have been constructed, and a much larger stone building that's built into the mountain wall itself. Slowly approaching, you do notice several people, some out milling about. You hear, coming from one of the larger stone buildings, sounds of conversation. There's not a lot of people here, but everything feels like it's on high alert. There's a lot of tension around. She begins to lead you through the town as you approach the larger building that's actually built into the mountain wall. And standing directly outside is a small gnomish woman, red hair that is tied back into a bun, as she seems to be working on what looks like a very large ballista that is pointed directly at what appears to be solid wall.
Like solid stone wall?
Yes. As you approach, she looks up and you notice immediately, like, she's sweating heavily, and you see some very large goggles on her head that make her large eyes look even bigger as she stares at all of you really quickly and, puts her tools down, stands up and takes the goggles off and comes closer. Lurla Levity Lignal. Pleasure to meet you. So you're here to help?
Yeah. And they said I could push a button.
They said there's a button you can't push, though.
Yeah,
Cannot.
that's fine. I won't push that button. I'll push the other button.
So you're Lorilla.
Yeah. Lurla Levity Lignal.
Can we just call
Lady.
you? Can we call you Lorilla?
Fine.
So are you in charge
so-
of the portal project?
Oh, I'm one of the inventors that helps to create the different machines that you might see around when in the library that actually helps to defend us from everything that comes through the portal.
And do you manage the cubic gate?
To a certain degree. I built a special container to house it that was actually supposed to, with magic and with some mechanics, help to seal it, but it's not working.
Is that a problem with the machinery? Or the magic?
There's nothing wrong with the machinery. Okay, there might be something wrong with the machinery. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to finish it because I don't fully understand how the cubic gate works because I'm not a very high wizard, but I built this, and she points, and now that you have a closer look, the large ballista that you see there seems to be made of some sort of oak, and it has a large dragon's head where it fires the lances from a long coiled rope hanging from beside, and several gears that seem like it may be able to reload itself.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Nikki
Yeah,
would be
that way you
wandering
kind of just-
closer.
You turn it on, and then it fires, and it can keep firing until it's out of ammo.
How fast does it fire?
Probably about 2 bolts every 6 seconds.
Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Does that help us with the problem with the cubic gate?
No, not at all. This is just to defend in case anything gets through my stone defenders, and she points towards the plain wall.
Your stone defenders?
It's a wall, bro.
Well, I want to make sure you were ready before you went in, so I haven't commanded them to move yet.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, so our head of, well, he's not really the head of security. He's more of a mercenary ally that we've hired on, but he's extremely helpful. Palm. And she looks over to Unix. You'll like Palm. Yeah, he's been defending the facility, and I'm pretty sure he's alive. I keep hearing explosions inside every so often. But,
Yes.
yeah, he's been making sure that the people are safe, as far as I'm aware, and he will probably have a little bit more information on what's going on, but he's inside.
Okay, so once you move the stone defenders, we'll go in and help Palm?
If you're ready for that, yeah.
Ooh, quick question. Do you know how many people are inside and where the lever to close the gate is?
I don't know if it's a lever. Most likely it's something magical that's keeping the portal open on the other side.
A magical lever. Okay.
Well, considering how much I've been able to study of the actual cubic gate, most likely it would be something that would be somewhere within about 1,000 feet or so of the portal itself.
That's a lot of feet.
Yes.
It'll be fine. We'll figure it out, even if it's not a lever, because it sounds like it's probably not a lever.
Yeah, it might be a button. That would make more sense, actually, because you use a button to open the gate, so you probably use a button to close the gate.
Or
to keep
it's
it open.
someone. It's some sort of being that's preventing it from closing.
That's just ridiculous. They would get tired and fall asleep and then it would close. That's how spells work.
So I've got this goofy smile on, and I'm just like, only one way to find out.
What if it's like an orb or something?
We smash it.
Smash! Smash!
No, hold on. We are going to go in, assess the situation, and then make good choices, right, team?
We will make choices.
Good choices. The best choices we can.
I will not push the button I'm not allowed to push.
I would give you a word of warning. If you're on the other side and you push a button or break whatever's there or whatever it is, it might close the gate immediately.
But then somebody will be on this side and they can push it and open it and let us back through, right?
Yes, Palm should be able to help you with that.
Good.
Just to warn you.
Do you happen to have anything that we can take with us that might help us?
Like string. String would be useful.
We have plenty of string.
String,
No, I have
rope,
rope. I don't have any
I'm
string.
talking anything, really.
She kind of seems to fumble through the bag that contains all of her tools. You hear the tools when they hit the ground, but not when she's reaching in the bag. She pulls something out, and it's a small spherical device that seems to have a little clip towards the top and a pin in that clip at the top. So this explodes when you pull this, and you can throw it.
No, Nix, no, don't! Stop! Nix, no!
Nix is already reaching for
Yeah,
it. Like,
stop.
ooh.
I will reach over and pull it out of Nix's reach for safety.
Come on, I'm the only one that knows how to use these things. I am the tinkerer person. I know
Well,
how to do these
we have
things.
to finish hearing the instructions of what it is and how it works before you start messing with it.
You pull the thing, you throw it. You pull the thing, you throw it. That's it. That's all you need to know. You pull the thing, you throw it.
Lorilla, is there anything else we need to know? Like, how far do you have to throw it?
At least 25 feet away from you, otherwise you're going to get hit with it.
Pull the pen, throw it.
Maybe Chet should hold on to that.
That's all right, Nix. I think I'm going to let Chet have this one.
I can play
Chet's got
hatchet
it.
sack pretty good.
Sorry.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, I will hand it to Chet, and Chet, I trust you will put it somewhere where Nix cannot steal it.
Kick a
Chet.
pebble with my foot.
Yeah, Palm told me how to make that, so they have some really cool things. You're going to really like them. They have lots of things that explode.
With buttons.
Thank you very much. We do really appreciate the help.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have any more. I'm mainly right now focused on making sure that whatever's in there doesn't come out.
Yeah,
But
that's a
if
good
you can
choice.
go in there and get rid of them, then I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Don't worry. Smashing is our specialty.
We've been over this. Justice is our specialty. Justice, remember? We have-
Right, you're the justice crew.
They're
Right,
not
yeah.
the same.
So I will turn to Lorilla and say, I guess we're ready then.
Okay, good. She walks up towards the stone wall and just says, "Step forward, move aside." And as she does, you see a seam appear within the wall as what look to be two massive stone shields kind of come forward, and they lower their arms behind them, revealing these almost clockwork figures. You hear the sound of gears moving, humanoid in form, roughly 6 feet in height and about 4 feet wide, as their heavy footsteps just slam down, two of them side by side, and they step apart to reveal an open passage and a stairway leading down.
Whoa, that's so cool! I can do that too! And then cast Mold Earth and splits part of the ground.
They're just staring straight ahead. You see no reaction on them, and Lorilla's like, "That's cool."
Chet is going to call out to them. Step forward, bump fists. And he's just gonna kind of be there, like hanging with fists in the air.
Just one fist or two fists?
Just 2 fists. One
If they
for
don't
each.
step forward, Nyx, after a few moments, would reach up and boop your fists.
You hear in a slight whisper, move forward, bump fists, from Lorilla. And they kind of just step forward and put an arm out. And you see they actually have a hand underneath this massive shield, but they use the stone shield that blended into the wall to kind of tap your knuckles. And if you weren't as strong as you were, you're pretty sure they might have cracked the bones in your hands.
Righteous.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and draw my bow, just be prepared, because no one else is.
My staff's out. I'll draw my shield too.
We'll equip my shield and draw my war pick.
After this, I will do the same of drawing my sword.
Nyx is ahead of you guys, starting to waddle into the room.
Begin to proceed down the stairs into a pitch black area. As you start to go down, the sunlight from behind you starts to stream in and you're able to see for a bit, but you hear the 2 stone defenders kind of begin to go back and step into place. And as they do, their shield arms from either side shift back to where they were and all light gets cut out.
Nyx immediately casts light onto little hair ties in her hair.
Okay.
So she's a
So
little
Nyx is glowing.
ball, and it's obnoxious pink.
I'm sure we've
Obnoxious pink.
I'm
yeah,
sure
you've all
we've
seen
seen this before. We're like, thanks, Nyx.
She doesn't do darkness, whether you want her to or not. Does not do it.
I'm fine with darkness.
Nope.
You would be.
No,
She's not. And Chet would have some trouble.
He would. He has trouble seeing in the dark.
Because of his humanness.
Yeah.
Aw.
Cool, man.
It's his other flaw.
Yeah.
Staying toward the back of the group, I also cast light just on my shield, and it's just kind of a soothing green.
I am going to sort of step to the side of the group and try to slink in the shadows. It's probably not
Anyone
hard
else?
to, if I'm outside of the range of the light, because they're, as I believe it was described, obnoxiously bright.
Yes.
Do you want a stealth check for me or not yet?
Yes.
It's a 29.
You guys forget she's there.
I'm a glowing beacon.
You're like, I'm a day person.
So you begin to proceed into the facility, and you immediately come upon a junction at the corner of 2 paths that lead, one off to the left and one off to the right. Currently, things are fairly silent. Where would you like to go?
I would like to perception.
I'd like to look and listen and also, maybe smell in case there's anything that gives any indication. 12.
5.
20.
6.
15.
Hera and Immeral, you kind of hear some sounds off in the distance. Nothing you can make out specifically. Almost sounds like something's talking, but it's very far off. You can't get an idea of a direction. Chet, meanwhile, you hear voices, but they're coming off to the right passage, and you also get a brimstone smell.
Coming from the right path?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, using my powers of broception, I believe they are coming from the right. I smell a waft of something fiendish, and I hear some voices.
From the shadows, Hera doesn't say anything, but she'd be like, thinking, yes, wonderful, my favorite. I like killing fiends.
Oh, do you?
Oh no, is that your favorite enemy?
It might be my favorite thing to do.
Then Nyx will nod, change the color of her little hair tie to red, and start heading down to the right.
That's
Red
how you
is
know
for
it's
danger.
serious.
Yeah. Oh man, red hair activated.
Oh,
Guys,
man.
it is on.
So, as the pinkish hue of the corridor, smooth-lined walls fills your vision, suddenly shifts into a dark, almost blood red. Nyx begins to proceed down the direction of the right side passage that Chet pointed. As it continues onward, veers sharply left then, after about 40 feet. And again, you come up to another junction, the passage heading directly in front of you, and one that begins to veer off to the right. As you get to this point, often to your right side, you suddenly hear a very loud, echoing blast go out, followed by 2 more in rapid succession.
We should probably hurry. And then Chet's actually gonna, kind of put his shield out in front of him and start more or less charging towards the sound.
Oh,
Okay.
You're gonna run off without me?
Chet begins to proceed ahead and loses sight of everything.
Because Chet is blind to the darkness.
Can I put out a hand to Nix and say, hey, you want me to carry you on my back?
Yes!
Alright, and then I'll carry her on my back. Do I have to make an athletics check?
No.
How much does Nix weigh? Like 30 pounds?
You have to make an athletics check. Yeah, she's what, 3 feet tall?
Yeah, something stupid small. I didn't even feel it in
And
my
a
sheet.
gnome.
She's a gnome.
Alright.
The majority of her weight is in the stuff she carries,
Yeah.
not her.
It's all those ball bearings.
So many ball
Come and use one day.
bearings.
You know she jingles as you pick her up.
I do have a bell and a signal whistle and some chalk.
You are a noisy person.
So you quickly pick up Nyx as she hops onto her back, and you just hear as she presses against your shoulders. As you guys are rushing ahead, and Rikas, you put a hand out to Chet now that there's a light source around you all again. You rush down the corridor as you hear continued echoing blasts come from ahead of you. It takes you a moment at a couple of different intersections before another blast goes off, and you begin to rush down that direction. For about 30 seconds after you turn down a left side passage, you don't hear anything. But as you begin to round a corner directly ahead of you, you see a lot of black ichor surrounding what looks to be a pile of chairs and doors directly in front of some opening. The chairs and doors themselves seem torn, as if something like ripped through them into the hallway. And there's a heavy smell of smoke in the air, but you see no sign of smoke. That scent of brimstone, though, is much stronger now.
Would I be able to make a nature check to see if the black ichor is something naturally occurring?
It's not.
Yeah, just gonna say.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know what? You would, even with a roll of a 1, you would know it's not naturally occurring.
Yeah, can I make a check to see if I have any sense for what fiend or fiends might be involved in what I'm experiencing so far?
You can attempt an Arcana check. It'll be difficult because you haven't seen specific fiends yet.
I get advantage with my +0.
You do.
16.
It's really difficult to tell with the ichor. It's most likely, considering the type of fiends you face, it would be either a demon or a devil, but without having seen any indication so far of the actual types of creatures, it's really hard to pinpoint which it would be.
Okay, I hate both, so I'm fine.
Real talk. It's fine. We'll kill it. It's fine.
So you guys are in this hallway that continues onward before rounding another corner, and to the left-hand wall you see the doorway, but stuffed with ruptured and broken chairs and pieces of a table.
It was Palm we're looking for, right? Right? Isn't that who should be down here? I'll be poking Rikas on the head, like tapping him on
Yeah,
the head.
poking him in the ear.
Didn't the lady who had a lot of L's in her name say that whenever she heard an explosion, that meant her friend was alive?
So it's probably him. Should we call out? Do you think that'd be a good idea? Or do you think we should just, look around?
Bomb!
You hear from within, "Who calls to me?"
The
It's us.
Justice Crew!
Yeah, the Justice Crew! We're here! We've come to help!
"Ah, you've come to deal with these foul beings, have you?"
Totally!
I love this guy.
You can come out! We're here to serve justice!
"Why don't one of you round the corner carefully first, so I can get a good look at you and make sure this isn't some sort of trick?"
I'll go. And I'll, climb down off of Rikas and push the others back a step, I got this.
As you do that, I'm casting resistance on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and throw my stone's Aegis on her.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
You guys are all ready for me to blow up and die, aren't you? I'm going to change the hair tie color to, a light white, a very calming color. And
It's kind of gotten a lot brighter than...
yeah, and I'll just kind of walk slowly around the corner, holding my hand. Well, I have my rapier in one hand and holding the other hand up.
You initially come to the corner where this barricade is. You can't really see above the barricade. It is taller than you. However, there are lots of openings from something having pierced through it. And as you look in, you see behind another large table, one of the strangest sights you've ever seen, a very large, 7-foot tall humanoid wearing these bright blue and gold type of military outfit, it almost looks like, with a breastplate visibly showing. But the most striking two things you notice is in one hand, he has a very long metallic object with a barrel that's pointed generally in your direction. And he has one hand placed at the base of this metal object. The other seems to be on some sort of handle with some kind of trigger. And he has a massive hippo's head with a monocle and a pipe.
What?
It's a military hippo with a shotgun?
The military.
Stick.
Okay.
Little gnome. Very well. You are definitely not one of those foul fiends. You have friends with you?
Yes. And I'll kind of reach over my shoulder and like do the like wave, like, come on guys, come on. He is awesome. Come on.
I'll go ahead and walk back over and just kind of scoop her up again and put her back on my shoulders.
All right, so you all kind of round the corner, and as this happens, you see he lowers this strange metallic object to his side, the barrel pointed up, and as he does, you see him gesture towards the two corners where you see two other heavily wounded hippo-looking humanoids also wielding a similar weapon, kind of come out with about 4 other humanoids with them. The humanoids, 2 being high elven, 2 being gnomes. All of them look very badly injured, though.
So a total of 6 injured.
Yes.
So I'll kind of tap Nix's legs and she's just sitting on my shoulder and be like, "They're talking hippos."
I know. It's awesome.
You notice the other 2 hippos are wearing the military garb, but they don't have the golden monocle or the pipe that the main one you've been talking to does.
If you give me about 10 minutes, I can help with those injuries.
Very well, if you wish. I'm not sure how long we'll have before those fat little devilish things come back. But please, if you wouldn't mind hopping over our barricade there. Thank you.
I will slink out of the shadows, because it seems like there's nothing to be gained.
I start casting Prayer of Healing.
So,
Okay.
Are you Palm?
That is Palm, good sir. I am Palm.
Uh,
And who are the rest of you?
I am Chet Cheddington, fighter extraordinaire. And this is the rest of the Justice crew.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
I'm
Rikas.
I'm Nyx, and she's waving.
I'm Rikas.
I'm Hera. I am ready to fight some fiends, if that's what you're doing.
And I am Immeral.
Ah, very good, very good.
So
An
what's-
eladrin. Most interesting. It is good to see another planar entity here. Very good. Yes, you had a question, human.
So what is the situation?
Well, we have these little fat, disgusting fiends that have been coming through the portal. They've crowded the entranceway. There must be a little more than half a dozen there right now. Individually, they're not terrible, but together they can overwhelm some people. We have been holding them off, but anytime we attempt to escape, they seem to notice and charge the hallway, so we have been cooped up in here for some time.
I want to know what this guy is, Tony. What check do I make to find out?
Arcana.
5.
And I rolled a 13.
Nyx, being a little more familiar with different planes of existence, you've heard of hippo people before, and they're referred to as GIF. Beyond that, you don't know too much. You know they're actually supposed to be pretty technologically advanced. As you guys now have a better look, you also notice he does have a long sword at his side and another strange metal-looking object similar to the larger one that he's carrying in a holster to his right.
Sir Palm, what is that you have in your hand there?
Why, this is a musket, good sir.
A muskrat?
It's some sort of device?
It's a weird looking
yes.
staff.
Would Nyx be at all familiar with these? With her team?
Roll straight intelligence.
22, good sir.
Woo!
Okay. You've heard of these as mostly like theoretical, but they're essentially just, they fire projectiles utilizing some sort of powder that is very flammable and fires these projectiles at extremely high speeds.
So they're really cool. They go boom. So like the thing that you gave Chet, and she's gonna like side eye to Hera. Except it shoots things like my sling, except cooler because it's faster and more deadly, I think. But I
You
don't know if
don't
it's more
you don't need one. You definitely do not need one.
I
You're
do
fully
need
capable
one.
of
I
that.
need
No,
one
you
in
don't
each
need
hand.
one. No.
I momentarily glance over my shoulder as I'm focusing mostly on the heels. So they're a magical item.
Mechanical.
Oh.
Yes, we have spent much time within our society to develop powerful warriors and very strong items to utilize against our foes.
And boomstick.
Yes, little one, they are boomsticks. They indeed are quite helpful in preventing these fiendish creatures from getting through, and we can take them out from a distance, but in these tight corridors, that makes it much more difficult.
So what do you need from us? What can we do to solve this problem?
At present time, my orders were to protect the other scientists of this facility, and I have been doing so. I have attempted to get them out, as I've said, but that has been problematic. If you could help to clear out the room itself, I could help to escort the rest of the people out of the facility.
Is your monocle magical? I used to have a magical monocle, but then it broke.
Dix, we gotta focus. We're not here for
Sorry,
monocles. Yeah,
It's so
we're gonna save.
shiny.
We're saving people. We'll talk shiny and goats later.
I want to touch it.
No touching. Everyone, keep your hands to yourself. All right. So, Palm,
Yes.
you want us to just clear out these disgusting fiends and allow you guys to get to safety?
That would be appreciated. Who is still alive up top?
The lady with the lots of L's in her name.
Ah, Laura
Lula.
Levity Legenhall.
Yeah.
Yes, she's the one who sent us.
Very good. So, has she informed you that there must be something keeping this portal open from the other
A
side?
button. Or a
No.
lever.
Something.
Or an orb.
Something. There is a thing. We don't know what it is, but we're supposed to find it and
And
resolve it.
smash!
Excellent. At least you know this so far. If you allow me to help these other scientists to escape, I can return here once you have cleared out that main room and allow you entrance back into this plane. If you would be so willing as to go and destroy this lever button orb thing.
Oh, we would.
A lever button orb.
No, he's not saying it's all of them. Those are slashes between the words. Yeah.
You forgot the air slashes. You had to
Sorry.
make the gesture.
No.
No. All right. I'm going to say let's go do that then. We're wasting time. Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, I want to see this lever /button /orb thing.
During the course of this conversation, even if it hadn't, you can wait the last minute or so, and your prayer of healing goes off, and they look a lot better. They still look very tired. You get the feeling they might not have been eating much over the past couple of days, but they're healed of their wounds.
I'll toss him some of my rations.
You see the two Isles kind of glance at you, slightly confused, but pick it up, and the two gnomes just, absolutely tear into it.
Yeah, they do. Good people.
They're perfectly good goat jerky rations, so I don't know why they wouldn't like them.
Palm interrupts a little and says, "If what I understand of the plane that they portal to is correct, it is to Avernus in the Nine Hells. So, are you all ready to go deal with this?"
Ready as we're going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So he steps forward and pulls out the small boomstick and kind of puts the larger one behind his back, the musket, as he pulls off the broken chairs and tables that block the doorway. He steps into the hall, aiming his gun down the passage you haven't been down yet, as he gestures for all of you to proceed in front of him. And then you see a gesture towards his people to begin to exit. You guys begin to proceed onward, and rounding the corner, all of you begin to smell that scent of brimstone. And as you round a corner, you notice a shattered doorway into a dark room off into your left side, and what looks to be a wall, and immediately a stairway that descends downward. You just see the top of the stairs from your current viewpoint, though. At this, you can also hear the sounds in the room ahead.
Oh.
Lovely.
Okay.
I'm going to tap Rikas on the head and have him let me down.
Okay.
As I'm down right with my little rapier.
So, are you guys stepping into the stairs?
Oh, wait. I could blow my whistle and maybe they'll come out.
Nope.
Nope.
We are going, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So Chet would be going down.
I'm
Yep.
right behind him.
As you guys begin to proceed down the stairs to your left, you see a cluttered room filled with destroyed crates and boxes. And just past the bench, you see these humanoid figures, but they are about 5.5 feet tall. They are covered and swarming flies and just general vermin that seems to surround them. Massive, blubbery fat kind of rolling off of them as small fumes of toxin seems to radiate off of their bodies. Their eyes are sealed shut, as are their mouths, and they're just lumbering around on stumpy, bulky legs.
Ugh.
Real pleasant people.
I'm going to try to, slip over next to the barrel that's just past the foot of the stairs and sort of crouch beside it to try to maintain my stealth.
So far, they haven't reacted yet as you proceed down the stairs.
I'll wait till everybody else gets a position, and then I would like to use my bonus action to hunter's mark the closest one to the front. But I could keep an eye as everybody else is actually, getting into whatever their standard battle position is, I assume.
I'll come up a little bit.
Yeah.
So they didn't announce this. So now that you're down the stairs, particularly Hera and Chet, you can see behind them an open, glowing portal, beyond which you see smoke and partially bits of what look rubble and wasteland and a dark, dark sky. It's hazy as if mist is kind of surrounding it, but...
I'll stay up next to Rick. And then I'll, tap him. Should I throw my bell as a distraction?
Sure.
I'm going to hunter's mark the one closest to me that's kind of near this cabinet.
Okay. So at the southernmost part of the room, you hunter's mark that one and you throw the bell.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the bell up to the
Roll strength for me.
14?
You hurl the bell over there. All of you hear the ting, 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 ting. And there's no reaction.
I would like to lob the frag grenade that was given to me.
All right. So you're throwing it?
Yep.
I would then like everyone to please roll initiative.
Oh, baby.
Yay!
Massive
These things are called Nuparibos.
New
Paribo.
New potpourri bros.
So, Chet, you have initiated combat by throwing the grenade.
Did you pull the pin first?
I did. I followed the instructions.
Otherwise, it'd be really awkward.
It would.
Go ahead and roll 5d6.
15.
Okay. So you hurl the grenade out after pulling the pin. As it clatters to the ground, you see all the figures turn towards it, and a massive blast echoes out, shrapnel flying in every direction. 3 of the Nuparibos just get slashed and slaughtered by the ensuing blast. The other 5 are still up, pretty badly injured, but they then turn towards your direction.
Whoa, great.
Biggest
Hera.
grin on Vix's face.
It is your turn. At the start of your turn, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Rolled a 19 with my +0. That's a 19.
Okay, nothing happens.
So I've got my bow out, I've hunter's marked the one closest to us, and I am going to let loose that arrow that I have on my bow. It's a 25 to hit.
25 hits.
18 points of piercing damage.
With a single shot, you just slam the arrow through its tiny head on this massive body, and it just slumps over to the ground.
Yeah, alright. So I'm going to shimmy around this barrel so I can get a better line of sight on the next closest target. I'm going to use my bonus action to shift my hunter's mark. Use my second attack to shoot.
Okay, the one that is right by the table? To
Yeah,
the north?
yeah, the one that was closest to the party. 23 to hit.
23 hits.
13.
With the first bolt flying through the first Nuparibo, it slams through its head as it drops to the ground in this kind of a sickening
Ugh.
As you shift over, you see another one to the north of you, firing a second arrow as it slams through its head, and again, another sickening. The swarms of flies and insects in the room are growing smaller, but they're still there.
So that's all for my turn. I'm going to stay here kind of just off to the side out of the main walkway towards the rest of the new pre-rows, because I have a feeling that the rest of my party might want to walk through that space.
Possibly. Rikas.
Okay, I would like to descend the rest of the way down the stairs, and then run up to the closest one to us, and I'm going to go ahead and actually cast Booming Blade. Is an 18 hit?
18 hits.
Okay. 16.
So you rush up, cast Booming Blade as a force of thunder focuses around your war pick. You swing, slam it into the Nuparibo in front of you, and with a disgusting splatter, there is nothing else there except Iker.
Yeah.
Gross.
For my bonus action, I'll just throw my Stone's Aegis onto Hera. If they attack you with bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, you reduce it by 4.
Thanks.
That brings us to Nyx.
Scuttle up kind of next to Rikas. Well, just past him. And then with my little rapier, stabby stab. 20 hit. 11 points of damage for the first one.
As you rush forward, you slam the blade into the creature, and it just collapses against your blade. You quickly pull it out before your arm just crumples to the ground from its immensely heavy weight.
Stab the corpse again.
Slap.
I can't actually go any further.
You just hear the sickening
Oh.
as your blade hits this thing. So, the last remaining Nuparibo is going to take a step up towards Nyx as it just rushes forward, and what seemed like its sealed up mouth kind of rips open as it just goes and goes to bite you.
No!
It actually hits you. You take 8 points of piercing damage as it rushes up and chomps into your shoulder, and you push this thing off of you as it seems to just try to eat you.
Oh.
And it seems to have all of its attention focused on you right now. Chet, it is your turn.
No, nobody hurts my gnome bro. So I will move up next to the new potpourri bro. And I will swing my sword at it. Does a 18 hit?
It does.
13.
It is still up, though.
I will swing again at it. 18 again. I rolled the exact same damage again. 13.
As Chet rushes forward, sword in hand, he slashes once, twice, and just carves into this thing as it also to the ground.
Not cool. Not cool.
You are out of initiative, though.
Did any of its gross stuff get on my clothes?
A little bit. He
So
was slashing, so it kind of sprayed everywhere.
I didn't get it in my hair, did I?
Probably, Chet, but look, you got it on my shirt.
As I come down the stairs, I see X covered in stuff. Are you hurt?
Don't worry about it right now. And she's gonna just kind of she's trying to shake the gross stuff off her shirt. Because I didn't take that much of a hit.
Yeah, I will go over and kind of help Nyx, clean ichor out of her hair. I'm sure such things have happened before in our adventures.
Yes. So what?
Yep.
What were those things? And it
I
tried to
don't
bite
know.
me.
You watch as all of them seem to slowly be deteriorating into more ichor.
Well, that means
That's
your hair will be
gross.
clean soon.
Into more ichor.
Oh, more ichor. I
Yeah.
heard. Sorry, I thought you said into deteriorating, not.
I'm gonna go overhead and walk over to the portal a little bit and just kind of look inside.
Yeah, don't touch it, Rikas.
Okay. You walk up and you get heat.
Is there any
A
buttons?
lot of heat. And there's a strong smell of brimstone and smoke. Right by the portal, on this little table immediately in front of it, is a small cube that has each side slightly extending from the main cube, and one of the sides is pressed in.
All I know is that next time we see Lorilla, I need more of those frag grenades.
I know, they're so cool.
That was
Awesome.
really awesome.
All right. Well, yeah, that's all great, guys. But should we check out any of this stuff in the room to see if we have any additional information?
Oh,
'Cause it
no,
looks like
but I
there's-
should get my bell.
I'll keep an eye on the portal.
Tony, I would like to investigate, I believe. It
Go
looks like
ahead.
there's some cabinetry and tables around.
You said we did see the cube in here?
Yeah, it's about 10 feet from the portal.
It's 17.
Searching the room, you find lots of the things have been cracked and destroyed and broken. You do find a bunch of different research notes that are kind of spread about. You see a lot of blood on the ground as well,
Oh.
but no bodies.
Oh.
And searching the area, you do also find a small necklace, actually.
A necklace. What kind of
Yep,
necklace?
with an amulet on it.
Okay, do I need to do another check to study
It
the
would be an
amulet?
Arcana check.
I'll take a look at it.
I could
But
take
I
a
don't-
look, too. Also, I would like to look at the box, but I am going to kind of put my hands behind my back and give the look to Hera, I'm not touching it.
No touching.
That look as she's very, very almost nose touching it, looking at the cube very closely.
Like she wants to smush her face up against the glass.
She really wants to touch it because there's
From that-
buttons.
From that close, you can kind of feel it having a very slight vibration to it, and the magical energies emanating from the cube.
This is
The 17 on my Arcana check.
So studying the necklace and the amulet on it, it's extremely intricate. It's very beautiful. And you look through it, and looking at the different runes on it, you notice familiarity between the runes on the amulet and the runes on the cube.
Oh.
You believe this is some sort of amulet allowing you for planar travel.
Okay.
It's known as an amulet of the planes. After attuning to it, you could attempt to cast the plane shift spell. But if you fail, you could go to a random plane of existence.
Okay.
Can I be keeping an eye out in the portal for anything either coming towards it or anything moving, really?
Roll perception.
Okay. 21.
All right, looking through, it's really hard to tell. The portal itself seems to be hindering your view. You can see a lot of smoke and the darkened sky and what looks to be some sort of ruins, maybe, up ahead. But the portal's kind of partially blocking your view.
Okay.
Like, it seems as if the magic of the portal is meant to kind of partially obscure whatever's beyond it.
All right, I'm going to show everyone the amulet and say, apparently this allows you to plane shift from what I can recollect from my plane shifting travels and such. I think I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it and attune to it because that might help us get out if things go poorly once we go through this portal. Unfortunately, there is a slight risk, just a little bit, that we might not come back here, but might go somewhere else entirely.
Like, when you say not here, do you mean right here in this room? Or do you mean not here on this planet? Or, like, not here on this continent? Or in the city?
Like another plane of existence, which might be good or bad, or just different.
Can I exist there?
Well, you'll exist if we go there.
Then I'm okay with that.
It's a reasonable risk, so this would kind of just be a last-ditch effort, I think. Like,
sure.
If we're going to die. Quick
question to the DM. How shiny is it?
It's shiny.
I'm going to put it on before she gets her little bits on it.
Just to finish up the investigation that you rolled, you do notice some items of interest. You do notice that one of those metal boomsticks, one of the small ones on a table nearby. You notice a silvered longsword on another table. These seems to be items of study and interest.
I'll put it out to Chet. Like, Chet, there's a longsword over here. Maybe you want to take a look at it? They're not really my thing.
Oh, excellent. I will take a look at it.
The other is a gun?
A boomstick?
No, I haven't pointed it out to Nix yet. I'm the only one who's seen it.
But
yes, this is true.
It.
And yes.
I haven't said anything yet. I'm asking
saying
Tony. I said Tony.
It's a pistol.
It's a pistol. Do I have any sense, as a player, of what would be the requirements for using it?
Dex. Also, none of you will have proficiency.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's
so,
no problem.
I am going to quietly put it away in a drawer.
You're an awful human being.
I'm just going to say, having seen the excitement of the group at these particular mechanisms, Hera's going to think, we really need all of our fingers. So she will quietly put the pistol away.
Okay, so after about 15-20 minutes, Palm does arrive. You see he has his pistol out and is looking in the room and sees it cleared. Well, very good work. Goes down the stairs, heavy footsteps echoing off. Well, I can man things here, if anything. I assume you're going through the portal to try and find this lever button orb thing?
Are you not coming with us?
I'm making sure nothing comes through while you are gone.
He has to push the button to let us back out, remember? She said if we close it while we're in there, somebody has to push the button to let us back out. Which button is it?
It's the one that's currently pressed.
I didn't touch the cube. They told me not to touch it.
She did.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, she didn't touch
as they have tried to press the other buttons before, and it did not close the portal.
So I'm gonna hold up one finger and be like, she said I could push the one button to try. By the way, my hand is hovering over the button. Like,
yeah. Yeah, like, it's imminent.
Roll a new persuasion unless someone stops you.
Natural 20!
Oh my god.
She will not be denied this experience.
I will not be denied pushing my button.
Well, if she said it was alright, I suppose you can, but it won't really do anything.
You never know. And I'm gonna, like, before I push the button, like, hold up my finger and, like, wiggle it. I am a gnome. Like, that does anything, you know. And then,
okay.
very, like, dramatically mash the button down with my finger and see if it does anything.
You press the button down. You hear the resounding click of the button being pressed.
It's very satisfying.
Portal's still open.
Yeah, it didn't work. I think the button's broken.
Good thing we checked, though, because
Yeah.
otherwise we would have wondered till it drove us mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tony, while she was pressing the button, that's when I would have reached out and handed the pistol to Palm.
You'll see him just kind of like quickly holster his and grab it and just go, thank you very much.
It's for the best.
Yeah, he tucks that one away in his belt.
Okay, good. Immeral, are you up for this? The rest of us are all gung-ho, but we didn't actually ask you if you want to jump in a portal.
You all would see me eyeing the portal, face changing between some excitement but also some concern, and eyes then shifting back to Nyx. I'd feel better if I could just heal you real quick.
Oh.
Okay, I was about to say, at the same time, you would see Rikas standing by the portal going, eh? Eh?
So Nyx will hold out her arm like a kid waiting for a Band-Aid. Fine. Okay, I also have a suggestion, guys. And I'm going to use my other hand, kind of ruffle through my bag and pull out my bags of ball bearings and caltrops. I could dump these by the portal so anything that comes through would be slowed.
So that's a good point. Keep in mind that would also be things including us.
Well, okay, so here's my thought. If we put it, and I'm going to motion, because if we put it on the left, then we know to come back on the other side. Other things wouldn't know. So there's a 50-50 chance they could hit it.
Yeah, that's accurate. Hera's just sort of like, eyes glazing over like, this is the latest crazy plan. Like, you know what?
Just wait. I have something I want to say after this.
I'm rolling a cure wounds, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
15.
Thank you. I
Jeez.
needed 8.
Well, I guess, does anyone have any objections to us leaving a bunch of ball bearings
And caltrops.
and caltrops on the left side?
Well, we can pick. We can vote. I don't care either way. But I just say we put it on one side, and then we know when we come through. I can mark it with chalk when we get through, too. Like with a mark. I could put an arrow on the side that has the caltrops so that things think that that's the safe side.
So we would just have to remember not to follow the arrows ourselves.
Yeah, like it would be pointing to where the things are.
This sounds like a foolproof plan and nothing could go wrong. And he's saying that wholeheartedly like he actually believes it.
Yeah. Chet, what do you think of this plan?
I see no flaw in this plan.
It sounds fun. Let's do it.
All right.
I do appreciate it as well, as if anything comes through while you are not here, it will be easier to shoot them.
Yes.
All
It'll
right.
slow them.
Let's go ahead and lay them out then.
All right. So I have 4 bags of ball bearings and 4 bags of caltrops.
Sure.
So
How
while
much are you dumping?
All of them.
Oh, geez. We're just
All right.
gonna home alone these fiends. Is that the plan?
When we go through, I'm gonna take out one of my pieces of chalk and draw an arrow.
Pointing to the wrong side.
Yes.
I'm actually going to contribute one thing to this.
Yes.
Within that same area, let's say closer to where the open area is, I set my hunting trap.
Okay.
So while they're doing this, can I go up to Palm and just be like, Sir Palm,
Why do you continue to call me sir?
you're dressed very gallantly,
This is my military garb.
so you look like you have some authority. Hence, Sir Palm.
I will kind of say, oh really? Is that all it takes? And I will use my cloak and make it look like Sir Palm's attire.
Oh, really?
Ah, Sir
I can
Hera.
do that too. And I'm gonna make myself look like Sir Palm.
You look like a shorter version of Sir Paul.
Oh god.
But fantastic.
I was looking through the portal earlier, and it seems to be extremely smoky, and there's a lot of debris flying around. You wouldn't happen to have another pair of monocles or some goggles I could have?
I do not.
Are you sure?
No spare monocles?
Monocles don't come
He
in pairs.
stares at you through the monocled eye. I am sure.
Do you have any more of those sweet frag grenades?
No, I happen to use all the ones that we brought with us.
So I would like to note that my disguise self, I also make it look like I'm holding a boomstick. I'm just gonna grin over to Hera.
I will walk over and pretend like I'm going to snatch it out of her hand.
I just giggle.
As my hand goes through,
Yes.
nothing phases through. Ha ha ha, very clever. So, I think we're done. I think our preparations have been made.
Oh, real quick. I will pull out a piece of chalk and mark on the floor little tick marks, just kind of very small for Palm, and do the little finger and got you covered. So that he knows where they're at.
Thank you. It's appreciated. He goes behind the table that's by the stairway and pulls out his musket and aims it towards the portal.
Yeah, you got this.
Are we ready to go through, bros?
Yes.
And I'll go over and pick Nyx back up and put her on my shoulder again.
Small hippo person, Nyx.
Also, I mean, she weighs as much as... Actually, she weighs less now.
Whoa.
All of a sudden.
Huh. Come on, Sir
you
Mini
mean
Palm.
because of all my millions of ball bearings I dropped through?
Yes. All right.
I will lead the charge.
Da-da-da-da.
As you all step through the mostly quiet lab that you just went through, you suddenly hear screaming voices.
Hiya.
Buzzing flies surround you. The stench of brimstone and blood fill the air. Off in the distance, you can hear the sounds of fighting and get the smell of burning meat, as well as this searing heat that pervades the air itself. Immediately in front of you, you see what looks to be a blasted wasteland filled with ruined structures of defensive walls and former citadels, as well as the bones, broken weapon, and armor from former battles. Massive obsidian structures crumbled apart. A small 2-story remains an obsidian tower. Darkened red skies above your head as you see occasionally streaming across what looks to be almost a comet that explodes off into the distance. And ahead of you, several miles away, but massive in scale and scope, you see a huge black basalt citadel surrounded by a massive black wall that even from this distance, you can tell that there's motion upon the structure as what is probably hundreds upon hundreds of devils are moving about.
The Chettingtons will not be building their summer vacation home.
Oh. So I'm stuck up on Rikas' shoulders. I'm going to reach down and hand him a piece of chalk. Don't forget to mark the ground so we know which one to... And look around, like, see if anybody's watching. Which one to go through. Winks at the rest of the party.
Here's the problem. I don't know if I know my lefts from my rights.
So you mark the other side.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and
She'll help.
bend down and mark it.
Alright, Tony, I'm going to take a minute and use my primeval awareness. I know there's all these probably feeds that are far away that we are aware of. Is there any way I could try to just pay attention to anything closer?
I'm going to ask you for kind of a wisdom save on this because the entire area is so filled with fiendish presence.
It was almost a 1. 17.
Okay. With some extreme difficulty, you're able to tune out hordes and hordes of fiendish presence far ahead of you. There's so many in the surrounding area, but there are a few fiendish presences close by.
Well, it's bad. There's a lot of fiends. I know we're all surprised to find that out, but I guess we will just try to focus on finding the device and try to stay out of the way of any devils.
Chet, you hear a voice in your head that says, "You seem like a strong one. You took care of that Niparibo pretty quickly. Are you well trained?"
Guys, do you hear that voice?
No.
What voice are you talking about?
I hear lots of voices all the time, but...
No, that's not
right
what Chet's...
now.
Who's talking to you, Chet?
I don't know. I hear some bro in my head asking me if I'm well trained, which, of course I am, but...
You hear again in the same voice in your head, Chet, say, "Excellent, well trained. My master is always looking for well trained soldiers. How would you like to go beyond what you can possibly imagine?"
I'm sorry, who are you? Where are you?
"Where I am is not important. You can call me Ozog."
Alzok. That's an unusual name.
"It is the name I am giving you."
We are looking for a switch orb controller thing for a portal. Do you know where it is?
"I could be persuaded to give you the location if you want to sign an agreement.
I have a couple gold I could offer you.
Gold's not exactly what I'm looking for.
I have some dice and cooking utensils as well.
By the way, is Chet responding in his head or is he responding out?
No, he's out loud.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's
So-
definitely saying this out loud.
Yeah, and we can only hear the Chet side.
Yeah. There's just silence now, Chet, by the way. Then, Rikas, you hear in your head.
Oh, no.
Chet got dumped.
How powerful are you to be able to cause a Niparibo to explode?
Guys, he's talking to me now.
What? You hear the voice too?
Yeah, I do. Pretty powerful?
Don't tell me.
Would you be interested in working for my master? She is always looking for new talent.
She seems nice, but I am busy helping my friends.
Oh, you won't have to join her right away. She'll let you keep training. It's just the promise of working for her eventually.
He's giving me a job offer.
We're already on a job. We can't accept new jobs while we're on a job.
I can't accept a new job when we're already on a job.
Oh, I wouldn't tell you to abandon this job.
Okay.
I'm simply offering a deal. I'd be happy to... I mean, of course, there would have to be a test to see if you're actually worth it.
Please, I'm definitely worth it.
What are they talking about, guys?
I would lean over to Nyx and be like, I'm pretty sure that Rikas is maybe making a deal with a devil. So...
Oh, why doesn't anyone... Nobody wants me.
You hear in your head, Nyx. I didn't say nobody wants you. We're looking for any sort of skilled fighter.
Oh, I'm not a fighter, so you can keep looking.
And then in your head, Hera, what of you? You're very well trained with a bow.
I don't like being your last choice here, besides the healer.
Oh, is that what he is? Oh, good to know.
I mean, to be fair, out of character, like, Immeral basically has, like, a symbol of his deity on his shield, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and a healing staff. Okay. So, but anyways, Ozog, I think we're willing to talk business.
Excellent. Are you willing to pass the test?
In exchange for passing your test, will you give us the information we seek?
No.
Alright, Ozog. You said your mistress is looking for talent. We're talented, but we have a job we're doing, and we require information to complete that job. So you want us to go and complete a trial? How does that move us towards our goals and delivering on our commitments?
How about you find what you are looking for, and I'll figure out when to test you.
I'm not really seeing a gain for us there. It really seems like a detriment. Like, the test might hamper our progress, and, you know, as I said, we made a deal to do this. And you wouldn't want to disrupt a deal, would you?
It wasn't a deal with me.
I guess I could make a deal with you. Are you interested?
What are you doing? You see Nyx, like, doing the, like, hand across the throat, like, stop.
Yeah, stop.
All persuasion.
Okay. 17?
Well, most deals in this realm go that you offer your soul upon death.
Yeah, I'm thinking something a little smaller, kind of like a gateway deal, you know?
How about this? I will point you in the direction, test you, and if you succeed, you'll get to meet my master.
And what is your master's name, Ozog?
Are you offering anything for the information?
Oh, I was including this in the deal you were offering as part of the package.
She rules this lair.
And?
That is all that will come for free.
Okay.
So, do you wish to make this deal?
Please hold. So group, team, Justice Screw. We have an offer from Ozog, the devil, to point us in the right direction of the button, lever, switch, orb thing, in exchange for maybe going through a trial to see if we impress his master, who is, like, rules the lair.
That doesn't sound really friendly.
No.
Also, when you say he's going to point us in the direction, is he physically going to be here and point us? Because that would be helpful.
Nyx, you hear in your head, no, not physically.
Why not? How are you going to point? You can't just point without being here physically. How am I going to see your finger?
You don't hear any response.
She's like, I don't do metaphors, jeez.
What kind of test is it? I mean, do we get study material or...
I think it's maybe more of a challenge sort of thing, like an obstacle.
I mean, realistically, even if it's hard, we can just smash it.
That's true.
Yeah.
My
We're
legs
pretty
are short.
confident.
I can't jump high, so hopefully there's no jumping.
I can always throw you.
Yeah.
We might be able to find what we're looking for without entering into any deals.
Does anyone have any idea how to find this thing?
Just to re-mention, by the way, you guys were told that it should be within 1,000 feet of the portal. Yeah. Immediately around you is mostly wasteland and ruined structure that looks like it was former quickly built walls that have collapsed. A couple of small cracked-in structures similar to like housing or a barracks of some sort, and then a part of a tower that is off in the distance a little bit.
But we do know that since we've seen devils around, the more exploring we do, the greater risk we run of just slamming into lots of devils, right?
Yes, and you do hear the sounds of fighting still off in the distance.
So, as Hera would say, well, I don't know that this is a good answer, but it's here, it's available, and I just say we just do it.
I really have no problem with it. We'll ace it anyways.
I suppose it's a lead that we didn't have before.
I don't like it, but I'm not signing anything, so...
Nor am I. But we can go ahead.
This would be for all of us, not just me. So if you guys don't want to do it, then we won't do it. But that's what's on the table.
Is there a timer on this? Do you have to accept it right now, or do we got some time to think about it?
I think eventually devils or demons are going to come and murder us, so...
Try to murder us.
Yes, try to.
We
But
just
otherwise, I haven't been given any time frame.
Notice, though, up in the sky, you do see several flying entities far off in the distance, but...
Like flying devils?
Yeah. The more you like, kind of look around, you notice more figures. They're definitely off in the distance. It doesn't look like they're approaching or anything, but the longer you stay here, the more likely devils are going to show up.
Can I do a quick perception looking around to see if there's anything within 1,000 feet that does stand out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Besides the ruined structure?
Yeah. 10.
I mean, the best thing you can look at, you see, a partially collapsed building. You do see the remains of a tower. There's only 2 stories of the tower left, but other than that, it's really hard to get any sort of feel for anything here. Just the heat is starting to get to you guys. You're all already sweating by how hot it is here. Flies in the air are kind of starting to get to you. The constant buzzing, the constant sounds of battle off in the distance, the smell of a burning meat. You even notice that, like, you kind of keep shifting from foot to foot, never keeping one foot on the ground for too long, as the ground itself is so hot.
We should just start in those structures there.
So I'm going to respond to Ozog and say, we'd like a little bit of time to consider your offer. Is that acceptable?
Hopefully I don't get bored in the process.
Can I insight the voice of Ozog that I've been hearing in my head all this time?
Yes.
15.
It's hard to get any sort of read on him.
Clarification, Rachel, did Nyx want to go and check out the tower before we do this?
Yeah, before we make any decisions.
Then we'll do that.
So you guys are heading towards this tower?
Yep.
All right.
Can I do it sneak?
You can roll a stealth check.
24.
10.
7.
15.
5.
You guys are proceeding along. You all think individually that you are very, very quiet.
We're really stealthy, guys.
Hera's just like, oh no.
I don't know if Chet can deliver himself that much.
Hera, you do hear in your head, well, they're definitely not as quiet as you.
I don't have a big ego, but thank you.
So you guys make your way to the tower, moving across this ruined battlefield. You approach the obsidian tower, and as you get closer, you notice the main door to the tower seems like it's collapsed some time ago. All the rubble is just strewn about, but there is a partially broken stairway built into the side that goes up and curves around to the back of the tower. You notice there seems to be like a second story, but the ceiling seems gone, and there are small open slits along the side.
Rikas or Nyx, can either of you cast Detect Magic?
I cannot.
I can.
I can as well, by the way.
Oh.
It won't cost me a spell slot.
Then
if I
you
do
should do it, because it costs me a spell slot.
Cast it, start concentrating.
All right, so you are currently concentrating. You focus. All of your friends light up.
We are magic.
Nyx is still technically looks like a mini palm.
I forgot about that.
Do I sense any auras in our general area from, I believe I'd be able to know the school, so anything that would suggest scrying in that way.
Nothing within 30 feet.
Okay.
All right, so we are at the base of this ruined tower.
Yep.
So, do you guys want me to, like, sneak in and see if I can find anything, or are we all just gonna charge in and tear the place apart?
I mean, he knows we're here. He does.
You mean Ozog?
Oh, he never gave me his name.
Yeah, but
It was kind of rude.
this isn't his place, is it?
I don't know.
We know nothing, except for his name is
Could be
Ozog,
his
according
house.
to him. Or actually, that's
Yep.
the name he gave us, right, Tony?
That is the name
Yep.
he gave us.
Which doesn't.
Yeah.
lot.
Because your favorite enemy is fiends, you know fiends don't give you their real names.
Yeah, it's a pseudonym. Aha.
I will
Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh,
take
man,
a piece of my chalk and write what I think is the best spelling of it, which on my notes I have Ozzog. And I'm going to look at her and I'm going to say, you think it's a pseudonym? And I'm going to write Goozz, Goozz. I'm like, I figured it out.
Like it's an
You
anagram.
hear in your head, Nyx. Nope. Good try, though. So, you all begin to proceed up the tower, and as you guys are climbing up the stairs, you get up to the landing, and you can stand at 3 across at the landing.
I figured we'd probably have like Chet and Immeral in the front so Immeral could see his detect magic.
I'm sneaking in the front.
So, you guys come across a somewhat cracked obsidian door in front of you. It's pretty dark inside from the brief glimpses you can get from the door. You can't really tell much else from out here.
You mean the glimpses we're getting through the cracks in the door?
Through the cracks in the door.
Okay.
Should I try and break down the door, guys?
You could just try to open it first.
Oh, well, I guess I could do that.
I mean, I'm in the back, so I can't
So-
really tell, but it...
You go to...
Jiggle,
Open the
jiggle,
door?
Jiggle, jiggle. Jiggling the door.
It's locked.
It's locked. Well,
Break down the door!
no, step aside. This is my moment. Yeah, Hera's gonna whip out her practically pristine thieves' tools that she never gets to use because the party
Smash the
smashes
door.
down every single door.
Look, when you got muscles as big as we do.
Yeah, it's time I get to use these.
I have a negative one strength.
Can I make a check with my?
You can make a thieves' tools check.
Well, I didn't roll super well, so it's a 25.
Oh.
One of those.
It's my best skill, guys. It's my best skill.
Considering how skilled you are with these tools, you're actually impressed by how difficult it is to open this. But after just a few moments, you hear the satisfying click of the door unlocking.
I think as Hera would have this moment of realization, like, oh, this is how Nyx feels when she pushes buttons. Like, yes, it is good. I am going to, like, sort of put my finger to my lips to shush everyone else, and I would like to quietly, like, crack the door open.
Okay. It's a little difficult because of the heaviness of the door, but you hear a slight scrape. Not super loud, but there is still some sound going. As you push it open, you can peer more inside. You see a hallway about 20 feet across, and it leads towards the center of the tower, which has a broken spiral staircase, the pillars being all that remains that was once held up the spiral staircase. And you see a soft green glow coming from the back right corner of the room.
That I will sort of lean back and say that there's some sort of glowing green thing over there that might be the magical object we're looking for.
The switch orb.
The switch orb button. I would like to be sneaky again. And sort of try
Roll stealth?
Yeah, try to...
I guess Chet will try
got
and
you.
be stealthy. Emphasis on the
Okay.
try.
Who else is being stealthy
being
then? Who else is moving?
Rikas?
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of try to pull away from the group and hug the walls.
I
Yeah,
am
you
not
guys-
even moving.
I use guidance on myself before I try this.
You can't.
I can't.
If you want to keep detect magic.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both
Concentration.
concentration. Okay. Well,
Yep,
I'm coming
so-
in one way or another.
27.
3.
12.
19.
So you guys are proceeding into the room.
I would like to kind of creep up to where the wall bends around into a corner on the right side, so maybe I can peek around and see if, there's someone there.
So as you do this, and as Chet comes up behind you, I need everyone to roll initiative.
All right,
okay.
we found the enemies, guys. Good work, team.
As you begin to approach Hera, you notice first 2 medium figures. Dark bluish skin, heavy metal armor on their arms, chest, and legs. You see both of them are wielding halberds with a heavy crossbow at their side, but the creepiest thing about them is bolted to their heads is a fairly plain metal mask. The image upon it seems feminine and almost angelic in its appearance.
Oh.
And it just seems to stare off as both of creatures turn their heads towards the corridor.
Great. Okay.
That's creepy.
But, Hera, you get to go first.
Are they surprised by me?
You are in stealth, so you have advantage.
Yes. Okay, and I'll get my sneak attack if I hit.
Yes.
I am going to take out my bow, and as I'm doing that, can I use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark?
Yes. These are called Maragons, by the way.
Maragon.
You notice both the masks are exactly the same.
It's a 27 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
18 points of damage.
You knock your arrow, pull back, and fire, slamming this into this thing's chest as it stumbles back, almost soundless, as it picks up its halberd and turns its attention towards you.
All right, I'm going to go again. It's a 30 to hit. 20 points of damage.
Yikes.
Level 8!
So, your second arrow, you knock fire again, slams it into its chest right beside the first. It stumbles back as you kind of hear like its wheezing breath come through.
All right, well, let's see. I am going to actually realize I'm no longer stealth, so I'm going to move up so I'm sort of in the center of the room so I can get a better
And you
look.
see the other one.
Oh, there's another one. Great. Okay. I will go ahead and announce to the group. There's one on each of these sides. They're weird, creepy things.
You're going to pull away from the wall, start to move to the center of the room. As you pull away, appearing against the back wall,
Oh, no.
just suddenly visible, clinging to the top of the wall about 15 feet off the ground, you see a large, imposing figure wearing half-plate armor, a dagger clenched into the side of the wall, massive tusks coming from the sides of his head, and almost a skull-like face staring back at you, spikes running from the top of his head and down his spine, a bandolier across his chest, and a heavy crossbow pointed in your direction. As you all hear a voice ring out, "Let the challenge begin." And he fires. So this is an Orthon, but the bolt flies towards Rikas.
You butt.
I will like to use my protection.
And it hits.
Peace be with you.
You take 22 points of piercing damage,
Jeez.
10 points of radiant damage. So altogether, 32 points of damage.
What?
And I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, thank goodness. 23.
11.
19?
6.
7. Oh.
All right. Chet, Nyx, and Immeral, as the bolt slams into Rikas' shoulder and pierces through him, it explodes in a blast of blinding light. Chet, Nyx, and Immeral, you're all blinded.
No! That's very bad
Rikas,
for casters.
you were literally burned by the blast of light.
This is going so horribly already.
And then, after firing, Hera and Rikas, you see a large grin appear on the creature's face at the back as he vanishes from sight again.
Nice.
Man, what a jerk.
That brings it to the Maragons.
No. No. No.
The two Maragons begin to approach. The first one comes up to you, halberd in hand, and swings.
Dodge.
Looking at their plus.
Dodge.
Dodge.
First one, you, getting nervous, duck as it passes right over your head. The second one, swing again. You jump to the side. The halberd slams into the ground. He turns the handle and slashes upward towards you for a third attack. And then you duck as it passes right overhead.
Oh, good thing I'm not taller.
The second Maragon comes up, begins to do the same. And the first strike, as you kind of duck and shift over to the side, it slices into your side. You take 15 points of slashing damage as it comes in for a second strike. But this one, though, as you kind of pull away from its first attack, you duck as it passes harmlessly overhead. And for its third and final attack, it kind of shifts and you just quickly step back as it swings harmlessly in the air. All right, Nyx, you're up.
I would like to try to remove the blindness. Can I?
How would you like to try to do that?
I am going to hold my hand out in front of me, and I am going to stumble forward, and
So after 15 feet, you run into someone.
then I'm going to cast light on it and see if I can see anything.
Okay.
What?
Rikas, Nyx suddenly bumps into your leg and places a hand on your pants as she is casting a spell on you. Do you allow it?
Sure.
You are suddenly glowing. Your clothes are suddenly lit up.
Do I see anything now?
Nope.
That's me, Nyx.
Oh. Okay. Good
Looks like I'm
job.
glowing now. Thank you.
I'll just stand behind him until I figure out how to get rid of this. Immeral, I can't see.
Rikas, you're up.
Okay, so... Ow! Then I'm going to activate Stone's Durability.
Okay, so your AC is now 20.
Okay, I'm going to go run up next to Hera. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my Stone's Aegis on her.
So you move forward as your body begins to become covered in hardened stone. You move up and create the stones kind of lift off the ground slightly. There's an aura around Hera as you step up beside her ready to fight. Chet, you are blinded.
I am going to first yell out to Rikas, and I'm going to use my rally. So I will go ahead and you get 8 temp HP.
Thank you.
So I could hear fighting going on
In front of
me. So I'm going to kind of advance slowly with my shield out in front of me until I run into something.
After 10 feet, you feel your shield hit something. As your shield bumps into something, you hear a slight clang, as if whoever you bumped into is wearing some kind of heavy armor.
Oh no.
Oh no. So did I
bad.
see any of those enemies before?
No, that you have heard heavy footsteps, so whatever it is sounds heavy.
And you definitely would have heard Hera being like, God, I'm not taller. That sort of stuff, you know.
So unfortunately, with that knowledge in mind, I would probably just try and take a swing.
Okay, make an attack roll at disadvantage.
Sorry.
So there is a brief moment as Chet bumps into you, Rikas, and then swings.
So fortunately, I did not roll great. 15.
So you swing, and it just bounces off of something hardened. So you know you definitely didn't get through whatever it was.
Yeah,
Stone
what the...
armor.
Chet!
Oh, sorry, bro. I will cease my assault.
Immeral, you're up.
Alright, so Nyx had called out to me and said I was blind, and I can probably tell that she's right next to me. So, I reach out, flailing a little bit, but finally make contact and use Lesser Restoration to remove the blindness from Nyx.
So you reach out, and there's a brief moment, Nyx, when you feel a big, slightly furry hand like smack your face.
And I realize it's Immeral.
Yeah.
And Immeral, you kind of feel the pigtail at the back of Nyx's head and realize it's her. And you release your Lesser Restoration. And Nyx, you can see.
Yes!
Yay!
And I do call out, if anyone else is blind, follow the sound of my voice and come to me. I'm good.
Hera.
I would like to teleport Chet here.
So behind the first Maragon.
Yes. Facing the Maragon. Chet, attack directly in front of you.
Got it.
Hera, you would reach out, and Chet, you ready, feel her hand on your arm, and suddenly you don't.
We're doing magical Chet time.
The best maneuver name ever.
Magical Chet time. I am going to pull away, which I know means I will probably take attack of opportunity.
5 feet back?
Yeah. I know,
Okay.
but I'm not disengaging.
They are wielding halberds.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'm just...
Have
okay.
a 10-foot reach.
So I'm taking a step back, though, because otherwise I'm trying to use a bow directly in their faces, and I don't think that's going to be very effective. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
Hits.
18 points of damage.
So you fire another bolt. Again, you're hitting that same spot, dead center of its chest. The bolts keep seeming to sink deeper and deeper every time you hit it.
All right, we're going again with my next attack. 17.
You still hit.
14 points of damage.
And as you fire your 4th bolt,
Hey!
it slams the creature through its metal mask as the arrow passes through, and it just collapses to the ground.
That is
right.
all for my turn, though. I mean, I know I technically could move more, but I will stay where I am for now.
So, reappearing closer and now on the ground,
Ugh.
you see the Orthon crossbow trained at you, Hera. The bolt fires, it hits.
Oh, shoot.
You take 15 points of piercing damage.
So that is reduced by 4 for you.
Oh, yeah!
Yes,
I
it
forgot about
is.
that.
Forgot
So
about
I
that.
take 11.
And
Oh.
25 points of lightning damage.
What? Then I am unconscious.
Okay.
I had exactly 25 HP.
Nyx and Rikas, what you see is as the bolt hits, electricity bursts from the actual bolt, shocking Hera and dropping her to the ground. Immeral and Chet, you just hear the crackle of electricity for a moment before something falls. And then he vanishes again. That brings us to the last Maragon, who is going to turn towards Rikas. As the Maragon takes a swing. Rikas, you bring your shield up as it slams against your shield. The creature then turns its halberd and swings behind it
Oh no.
Not Chet.
at Chet. Chet, you sense the motion and just put your shield up, and something slams against it, and then it swings back at Rikas. As it swings back around at Rikas, it does hit.
Oh. Yeah, sure, I'll use shield. Does
Okay.
plus 5 AC stop it from hitting me?
So it goes to swing, and the blade comes almost to your hand as the shield forms from your palm, and it slams against the shield. I rolled a 20. You can almost feel the pressure of the halberd inches from your hand.
Ugh.
However, that is its turn.
All right. Stupid Maragon.
Now, suddenly, Chet
Oh.
and Immeral,
What?
Oh, awesome.
you can see
Oh.
Nyx.
I must start walking forward. Step up next to Immeral, kind of like grab him and be like, I'm taking you to Hera! As I walk forward and kind of pull him. I wanted to see if I could pull him.
I can see now.
All right, so you move up 5 feet as Nyx goes right by Hera, but that's all your movement,
That
Nyx.
is all my movement. I will just chill touch.
We have no idea about the AC on these things, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Nope, because you've been rolling high.
It's lower than 17.
18?
18 hits, so you pull Immeral behind you, kind of almost half ignoring his cries to say that he can see. Step up beside Hera and reach out toward the creature, releasing a spectral hand that grasps its throat.
11 points of necrotic damage.
As you pull the life force from it, utilizing the skeletal hand.
Yep, that's all I can do.
Okay. Rikas.
I'll go ahead and cast Booming Blade again and just take a swipe at the Maragon in front of me. 26.
To hit? Yeah.
16 points of damage. Oh, wait. 20, because plus 4.
All right. So your war pick slams into the side of this thing, booms out. You see the booming energy begin to surround this thing's form.
That's it.
Okay. Chet, you're
Chet
up.
is going to swing at this creature that he can now see in all of its ugly glory directly in front of him. I'm assuming a 22 will hit.
That'll do it.
Sweet. 8 damage.
Okay.
So then I will attack again. Does a 17 hit?
It hits.
Hey.
12 damage.
Okay. So you rush forward, slash at this thing twice, hacking into its side. It begins to stumble forward. It's pretty bad. Immeral.
Okay, so with my staff, I'm using Mass Cure Wounds.
I
All
like
right.
not dying.
Go ahead and roll.
That's a total of 24 back to everyone who's missing anything.
Nice. You lift your staff as a pulse of healing energy goes out, encompassing all of your allies, and you all heal by the 24. Hera, you feel a wave of healing energy go over you and come to consciousness.
Whew.
Thank you, Immeral.
I like not dying.
So, I'm gonna move up until I'm exactly 30 feet out from whatever that weird thing is in the corner.
So you begin to move up, and you sense magic coming from the far corner of the room.
Okay.
You know you're close enough that if you had more time, you would be able to sense the aura there.
I think that's my turn then.
Hera,
I would like to stand up.
all
Feeling
right, half movement.
better, but not great, I think, at this
I'm
point.
assuming pick up your bow as you stand.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action to second wind and get back 9 points. And I guess at this point, I've lost concentration on my Hunter's Mark, correct? Because I'm
Yes.
unconscious, so I don't have that. We'll focus on trying to help take out the Maragon. It's a total of 20.
That hits.
21 points of damage.
As Rikas and Chet, you're hacking into this thing. Hera stands, fires an arrow, and slams the arrow into the side of this thing's head, and it drops to the ground.
I'm going to start moving up. So I'll go up so I'm like right next to Chet and Immeral to see if I can get, looking around the room if I can spot anything. Otherwise, that is all I can do for my turn.
Okay. The Orthon appears in the corner, aimed for Immeral.
Yeah.
And you hear, no more healing. The bolt passes just over your shield and slams into you.
Oh no!
Take 13 points of piercing damage, and I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
No.
Oh, hey, I'm good at
Sweet,
those.
I'm good at those.
6.
15.
15 as well.
25.
9.
Everyone but Rikas takes 12 points of thunder damage.
Ooh.
Rikas, you take 6 points of thunder damage. As the arrow hits, a boom goes out of concussive force that slams into all of you. And Immeral, please roll to maintain concentration on detect magic.
Nat 20.
Nice.
All right,
He's
maintain concentration. However, he vanishes from sight.
Alright, dude. I'm gonna waddle my little self right up. And then, I would like to cast Polymorph on myself. To turn into a T-Rex.
Where are you?
You're about to push everybody back.
That's as far as I could move up. I tried to get as far as I could.
You all get pushed back 5 feet as Nyx just grows.
T-Rex.
And
And then
her head shifts forward into a massive jaw with tiny little arms and a huge tail.
That's the sound she makes.
Yes. This is not an illusion, guys. I will just snarl and snap in the general direction of where he was. I do have a 10-foot reach.
You polymorph and then just
Screech.
screech into the air. Rikas, you're up.
So, from the spot I last saw him at, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Erupting Earth against my DC of 16.
Okay. So earth breaks and cracks and erupts from the area. You don't see anything else.
Okay. Now, that area is also considered difficult terrain.
Okay.
Chet.
Chet! Alright, so I'm going to try and move up here. And I will use the dodge action, I guess.
Okay. Immeral.
Okay, so I'm going to strafe over toward the left side of the room, 30 feet out, I think, from that.
There is a stone pillar just at the corner to your left there, but you can sense the magic in front of you, so you can use your action to do that.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay. You sense the magic of the object. It essentially is an enchantment type of spell around the orb.
Okay. Do I sense the location of other auras? Or I guess the wording of this is...
You have a thick stone column just to the side of you.
Oh. Yeah, I use Mass Healing Word. Total of 10.
Okay. Hera, you're up.
Can I walk through Nyx's face even though she's a giant T-Rex?
Yeah.
I'm scuttling through, and I am going to go ahead and cast my Detect Magic.
You sense and see an aura right next to Chet.
Chet!
Alright, that was my action, but I'm going for the action surge. So, it's right here directly behind Chet.
It is directly in front of you right now. Behind Chet.
I am going to go ahead and do what I do best and put that arrow in my longbow and say, Ozog is directly behind Chet. Okay, so with disadvantage, it's a 27.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, is that all?
That's all.
Suddenly, he appears in the space as the arrow hits.
Oh, okay. So hold on.
So, Chet, all of a sudden behind you, you look up and can see a 10-foot tall, muscle-bound devil with huge tusks and half-plate armor towering above you.
Okay, that's 19 points of damage. I'm gonna Hunter's Mark him and go again. Natural 20!
Hey!
24 points of damage.
You fire 2 bolts, the first one into what appears to be air when suddenly it slams into the shoulder
Of Ozog.
of Ozog as he takes a step back, and as the second bolt fires, now that you can see him, it slams dead center just below his collarbone, and he takes another lumbering step back, staring at you in surprise.
Can I say something?
Yep.
Nyx, eat him!
Alright, it is his turn as he gets closer to you, Hera, and you see him pull a dagger and go to stab at you.
Oh no.
Dagger?
As he thrusts the dagger forward, it slams into your shoulder.
Oh.
You take 8 points of piercing damage, and you feel a poison begin to course through your veins. I need you to make a con saving throw.
Con save.
Yep.
18!
Alright, so you take 13 points of poison damage and are not considered poison. And suddenly,
Oh, come on!
you do sense him pull away from you, Hera.
Have a bow.
If you basically wanted to beam him with your bow. He moved out of your reach as well, Nick, so both of you get an attack of opportunity.
Does a 13 hit?
You swing the bow and hit nothing but air.
Really?
Nix,
Does a 15 hit?
you chomp down right in front of Hera, but nothing's in your teeth.
No, I didn't say eat me. I said eat.
Oh.
But that is his turn. Nix, you're up.
Okay, so the roof is all collapsed in, so the pillars aren't holding up the roof.
You can just smash through them.
Alright, I'm gonna boom boom up here.
So you step over Hera towards the back of the room and find your foot bump into something.
I hit something?
Oh,
So as you kind of bump over, you feel something kind of connect with your foot.
Chomp
Right
in
about
that
here.
direction then. 14.
You chomp and hit nothing but air.
Can I force my way forward once and just try to stomp on him?
Roll an athletics check.
As a T-Rex. Ooh.
you're pretty athletic, huh?
+7? Nat 20.
Oh
I was on the 2 and then it like toppled back over.
my god. Oh my god.
Sounds about right.
Your foot definitely ran into something, but it's not where you just stepped. At least not anymore.
Stop. Just stop it. You just see like a T-Rex version of Nyx stomping around. And then I will make an attempt at motioning with my little short T-Rex arms and like like a pointer. Like a pointer dog.
Rikas, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare an action. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
You're focusing your arcane energy and being prepared that wherever he appears, you'll cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Chet.
Jerk.
Shit. Alright, so judging by all of the other attacks that have happened, and the giant T-Rex gesturing with its tiny arm, I'm
Point.
going to turn towards the back of the room and try and swing at that spot. I'm going to guess that a 10 is not.
You swing and don't hit anything.
I'm going to swing again.
Do it.
Go for it.
This is a big trial indeed for the Justice Group.
As a 15 hit.
You swing and hit nothing but air.
I'm going to use my action surge and try
Yeah.
and just swing at that area again.
Go for it.
Does a 21 hit?
You swing and slice into his form.
Chet!
Alright. So, when my blade connects with him, I will make it a goading attack. So, 20 damage.
Okay. All of his attention is focused on you.
Excellent. Yeah, I get one more attack, too.
Before you do that, however, he has become visible.
Okay, he's got to make a strength saving throw.
Natural 20.
Oh, lame. Okay.
So a massive hand appears and attempts to crush him.
4 damage.
So it reaches up and tries to crush his leg, but he easily breaks out of its grip. But Chet, you still have the rest of your turn.
Chet! Alright. 24 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Alright, and since I have hit, I will expend another one of my superiority die to do a trip attack. Strength saving throw. DC 16.
He saves.
13 damage.
So you slice into his leg. You see his knee wobble, but he stays standing. And he's still up, but he's starting to look really bad. Immeral, you're up.
I'm going to go up to Hera, and I'm casting Cure Wounds as a level 4 spell.
Okay, so rushing back around the pillar, you see the rest of your party towards the back of the room. The Orthon kind of tucked away into the corner, rushing up to Hera. You put your hands out.
35 points back.
35.
Woof.
Wow.
That's my turn.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Hera.
Okay, it's my turn. I can see this creature.
Yep.
All right. So that's a natural 20. 51 points of damage.
So you fire an arrow. It slams directly through the creature's throat. It is breathing and has difficulty taking in air. As it starts to stumble, its eyes go wide with fear, and it looks at you and just, in your head, you've passed the challenge. Do you wish to make the deal clearly you're strong enough?
I'm going to say no, because I have one more attack. A 28 to hit. That's 19 points of damage.
He had 18.
Yay!
How do you want to do this?
I'll be like, Nyx, finish him.
So,
Yeah. What would you like to combo do?
Okay, so what are you picturing for Nyx?
picturing Nyx in like one kind of swooping motion, very gracefully, using her head to push Chet back 5 feet, and she rolls on top of the dead body like a dog.
Hera, as your second arrow flies, slices into his hip, and he kind of starts to stumble to the ground. Nyx, standing over, nudges Chet out of the way and begins to drop. Nyx, as you begin to drop on him, you slam down just as his body begins to glow bright.
Oh.
And fortunately, Nyx is huge.
Yeah, for reference, a T-Rex is somewhere between 11,000 and 20,000 pounds.
Oh my god.
Just for reference.
Because otherwise, I would be making all of you roll a dex save.
Oh my
But
god.
Nyx is just going to take all this damage in her T-Rex form.
Oh
Just
god.
smothers it. She lands on the ground.
As he explodes.
Fatality.
Thank you,
Nyx, you
guys.
take 9 points of fire damage as you slam down on him, and you just...
Wait, how many?
15 total damage of fire and thunder as this thing just bursts out. You guys see, like, smoke and just get a really strong sense of brimstone underneath Nyx as she slams down on
And
this thing.
you hear what the equivalent of a T-Rex kind of giggle would be as it kind of tickles her side.
Oh, man.
You are out of initiative, though. Well, I would say the room goes quiet, but you still hear the sounds of battle off in the distance. That explosion, as much as Nyx stifled it, was very, very loud, though.
Oh, no.
Let's go check out the orb lever button.
Switch.
So it is an orb that is just
Oh.
softly glowing green.
Chet called it.
Alright, the T-Rex will get up and kind of like do like a dog shake off and kind of do the motion with the little hand pointing to you all and then pointing to the orb and then
Yeah.
like shuffle over and stand guard at the door.
Okay.
So
when Nyx does stand up, by the way, you just see a, like, char mark on her chest.
As she stomps off to guard the door.
And there's a char mark on the ground.
Can I smash? Can I be the one to smash?
Yeah, just smash it.
So I'm going to go ahead and hold out my hand and use the Ring of Ram. 17 on the die.
So that is a 32.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty
Strength
good.
check.
Pretty good, pretty good.
And as the ram head forms and coalesces, it slams into the object, which explodes out in a thunderous, echoing sound. You all stood back, right?
Yes, we pointedly said,
All right, so
I
you-
step away.
You don't go deaf
Oh.
from how loud the sound is.
Woo.
But it is very, very loud.
Just have like a nice ringing in the ears.
Yep. And I need everyone to make a perception check for me.
Oh,
T-Rex
Jesus.
looks pleased.
It's a total of 6.
Total of 6. High five.
5.
Total of 7?
19.
So, Chet, the room is open. You do see slits in the walls. Part of the ceiling is off, but you happen to glance up towards the massive citadel off in the distance, and you can just see a figure rising up from it with fiery wings.
Uh-oh.
That seems to be rapidly heading in your direction.
Would that be the master?
Guys,
Uh,
bad bro incoming. we should,
I think that we should bail.
we
Yeah,
should
let's
make
go.
haste.
Are you guys rushing
Oh,
out?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nix, are you still
Oh,
T-Rex?
I'm going to smash through the door.
What is your movement speed?
50 feet. And I
Can
can...
I?
Okay.
I was going to say I could try to pick up
Nix
people.
leads the way.
I could try to
Will just ride on her?
Yeah, Nix, can I ride on you for a change?
Mhm. I will pause
Right.
long enough to either I could try
We'll
to
all
pick up
clamber
people,
on.
or they
I
could-
think you could carry the entire
Alright.
party.
Yeah.
Everyone else roll an athletics as you're holding on to Nix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
My athletics is amazing.
Not have animal handling.
Yeah.
Yay.
17.
17.
At 20, so 26.
Nice.
16.
All right, you guys have no problem hanging on, but Nix is a little slow to start. She bashes through the doorway and almost stumbles off the side of the tower since the actual stairway is not very large. But
And it-
not caring, just jumps down. You're all able to look off in the direction as she starts to run towards the gate
Full on.
to see this winged figure very rapidly getting closer.
Oh, no.
Run, Nix!
As it does, comets begin to drop out from the sky from the area that she's near. You see explosions land as this figure gets closer and closer.
Oh, no. Tell me if this is possible. Can I use mold earth to kind of smooth out the ground?
I'll say yeah. Okay, you're rushing forward. It's a little easier this time, though. Your feet are able to get an easier grip. The ground's not as broken and stabbing into the bottoms of your feet as this figure. Now you can see more clearly a large, almost humanoid in form, but massive fiery wings as you see a flaming sword and flaming spear in whatever this thing's hand. You're rushing towards the spot where the gate was, currently closed. So as you're rushing forward, there's nothing there. And just as you're thinking this thing's going to catch up to you, the portal opens and appears.
Okay, I would definitely screech to a halt.
We will bail.
Bail out.
Bail.
So as soon as they're down on the ground, morph, point to the arrow as a reminder that
You're-
you're on the ground.
Oh.
I will pick up Nix and just sort of haul her as she's trying to point out the arrow.
Same, I will
Yep.
try.
And
Chet
go,
will try and just shepherd everyone in and holding his shield to make sure that everyone gets in first.
and we will go through the side without the arrow.
Without the arrow.
Without the arrow.
So you leap through just as this figure, now only about 200 feet off, you see forms a small mote of flame in her hand and lobs it towards you just as you step through
How
the
close?
gate.
Push the button!
It was 200 and quickly became 50 in the span of
Yeah.
6 seconds.
Are we through? Do we push?
Flame could
Can we?
reach her.
Can we?
You have stepped through.
Okay, push the.
I heard you say push the
Push the
button.
button.
Push the button.
You see Palm just immediately put his big meaty hippo hand down and press the button as it suddenly closes behind you. There's a brief moment you hear an explosion as the gate closes.
Oh.
Guys, that was a T-Rex. That was so cool.
That was so cool!
Oh, I'm so tired.
Chet thumbs his nose in the direction of where the portal was.
Good thing we had all those caltrops.
We could have taken her.
Yeah, sure.
I agree. We could have done it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So Nix is gonna hold up her hand
Um,
to Chet for a fist bump.
He obliges.
Not too hard though, right?
Well,
Not too hard.
I see you are all successful in this.
Yeah, we weren't sure, but we were really hoping that was going to close. Otherwise, it would have gotten really ugly here pretty quickly.
Indeed. I suppose we should celebrate your achievement then.
Yes.
Come, I'm sure everyone upstairs will be happy to see you are all right.
Oh yeah, after what we just went through, you definitely owe me a monocle.
Monocles for all.
He's already proceeding up the stairs.
I thought you wanted a pet goat, not a monocle.
Can I have a goat with a monocle?
Oh!
I don't think it would stay on very well.
Tape. I will invent it.
The town creates a massive feast in honor of all of you. You are each given 500 gold apiece for your efforts here.
You can buy a lot of goats.
And as ridiculous as it is, Lorilla Levity Ligenhall brings one of the goats that they have in town and gives it to you.
Oh, and what do you name it? Daisy? Daisy the goat.
It is the cutest goat, guys.
And you are all celebrated as heroes. And the Justice crew completed another successful job.
Yeah!
And so the Justice crew continues on with their own adventures, traveling the kingdom of Solana and the overall world that is Ostia. Thank you all for listening. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter at rulesaswritten, and feel free to email any questions to me at dm@dndraw.com. You can find our podcast on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. And on behalf of all of us from D&D Raw, thank you. So are you the Justice crew?
We are the Justice crew, as named, I would assume, by Chet and then grudgingly agreed to by others.
Bro, I had this great idea for a name.
You know how we like justice?
We are the Justice Crew. J Crew for short.
No! Scrap the whole thing.
It works on so many levels.
I think we should definitely change it while Bethany's away to the Bro Squad.
Justice crew.
So what did we settle on?
Justice crew.
Justice crew. Okay.
Oh, I like Rumble Squad.
Hey, I'm back. What happened?
What? Nothing.
They
you
came up
renaming
with
the
like
team?
7 more names.
Nope. Team name has been decided on. We
The Justice
decided.
crew.
Yeah, it's over, guys. It's
They
over.
were all gems.
They were all gems.
You could use them for future groups. I'm looking at the chat now. Darn it, I walk away for like 5 minutes.
Hi, I'm Adam. I will be playing Rikas, the half-elf stone sorcerer. He is a bit of a straightforward, kind of your classical knight sort of guy. He definitely wants to take his problems head on and just beat it. Oh, was that what you want?
Just beat it. You.
Just beat it.
Oh no! I was trying to avoid that.
It always comes to that.
Anyway.
Is that? Of course.
Being in the diamond trade, it's a shape of a diamond with basically a thumbs up emblazoned on one of the facets of it. That is what he carries into battle.
What are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
Sorry.
That's going on bloopers.
As soon as I said it, I was like, wait, no, that's not what armor is Chet wearing?
What are you wearing?
Chet, what are you wearing?
What are you wearing?
I'm so sorry, Rachel. That was really inappropriate of me.
I'm just like, wow. Bethany?
Oh my gosh. Whew. I'm good.
Okay.
You okay?
So,
Cried a little.
So, what are you wearing?
It wasn't that bad.
No, I know. You're just like, what are you wearing?
But it was bad. I admit that.
Are we going to have to review the Justice Crew's sexual harassment
Yes.
policy again?
I like that all of us got quiet for an awkward moment. Like, did that just come out of her mouth?
Who's going to be the first one to make the joke? Because we're all thinking it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, question to the DM.
yes.
Have you been thinking about Stargate SG-1 a lot lately?
I don't know why you would say that.
We've actually been watching that, so I've been thinking about it a lot.
I'm just picking up on some influences. That's all.
Huh?
So, question to the DM. This is basically literally a magic door that is just automatic doors, but they're just to another plane.
It's a cubic gate.
Just clarifying.
Because
It's a real thing.
I know. All right.
pull the pen, throw it.
Okay, question to Rachel. How good is Nyx at throwing?
I think that would be for me or Chet.
Maybe Chet should hold on to that. Throw it.
Right, you're the Justice crew.
They're
Right,
not
yeah.
the same.
We're the Rumble Squad.
No, we're the Justice Crew. We fought about this for so
But on
long.
the weekends, we're the Rumble Squad.
Rumble
that-
Squad! Rumble Squad!
Okay.
That's our sports league.
In her internal monologue, Hera's like, maybe I should just go off by myself. I'll just sneak away. They'll never notice.
You
Maybe
probably wouldn't.
Maybe it's for the best.
You. We would fall apart without you.
All
I
right.
would have the grenade.
Yes, that's true. Nyx would have the grenade in hand.
Hera still immensely quiet. You guys kind of forgot she's there. You know she's there,
I do this all the time.
but you have no idea.
We lose
You
track
just
of her,
have
but she
no
shows up
idea.
eventually.
Yeah.
I'm like a cat. I just sort of wander off. You're like, she'll come home.
Your fury.
Heard of hippo people before, and they're referred to as GIF. GIFF.
Are you sure it's not Jif?
Could be Jif.
No, we're not having
that's
this
what-
conversation.
What have we done?
Stop. If it is Githyanki, they are GIF. That is how I'm referring to this.
Our goat jerky?
That's my personal goat jerky I'm sharing. You all have your own goat jerky.
I ate all mine.
Oh, well, you had your own goat jerky.
Hey, you don't mind within like the first hour.
We really need to talk about self-restraint and discipline in this group. I mean, it's a constant struggle, you guys. Delayed gratification. But also, let's go kill some fiends.
Okay, I'm okay with that. These are pretty terrible. They don't like light, do they?
No. No,
Oh,
not
yeah,
particularly.
They're terrible.
They're the worst. They're fiends.
Particularly devils, these, I believe.
Oh, these are devils.
Is there a difference?
Yes.
Yes, devils are smarter.
Oh. Do they
Great.
also not like light?
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, that wasn't good.
No,
Oh.
that's a 1 and a 2.
Hey.
So, Chet, you sense the motion and just put your shield up, and something slams against it.
The bro force is strong with me.
And you learned Hera was not lying to you about there being an enemy in front of you.
Yes.
And then it swings back at Rikas.
So I just picture like one of those little animatronic toys that just like swings the hammer back and forth, back and forth.
Whack, whack,
Yep.
whack, whack.
Ooh, can I just do it? I have something really cool.
I guess.
Chet,
What do you guys
Chet
do?
is very disappointed.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back over to the orb. Chet, you might want to move out of the way.
Why are you talking like Chet?
I don't know.
Yeah, why are you talking like that?
Chet, you
We're
might
talking
wanna move
like
out of the way.
we were talking like Palm earlier too, by the way.
Chet's a bad influence. He turned into another
is a bad
Chet.
influence.
By bad, you mean great?
Sorry, my mistake.